Today, folks, Bed Bath & Beyond. It is very unusual in the finance world, unless somebody loses an exuberant amount of wealth, to unalive themselves. And this one is a little bit more confusing than these other stories from the past, because this wasn't over a huge amount of money, but is spiraled in a lot of conspiracies and a lot to do with pump and dumping and lawsuits that have been coming down the wire. And of course, taking a look at Bed Bath & Beyond today on this news that we're going to dive into is the CFO, obviously, if you haven't heard, jumped off a building. Anyways, the stock is down 16% on this, guys. And, well, obviously, I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond has been a Wall Street's bets kind of stock. So the volatility has been absolutely insane. I mean, just in the last recent months, the stock ran almost 300% and has dropped to 68% just within the last month. I mean, this is pretty astounding volatility, right? And just taking a look, guys, a lot of this is also on the back of recent layoffs and shutdowns. So Bed Bath & Beyond has been going through a crazy amount of restructuring. As of August 2022, Bed Bath & Beyond is closing more than 100 stores and laying off around 20% of its corporate and supply chain workforce as it grapples with slowing sales. And all of this is now accumulated into a moment here, and we're going to break down this video, just kind of explaining this, and we'll see if YouTube flags this video, but nonetheless, let's just get into it.
The chief financial officer for Bed Bath & Beyond died on Friday after falling to his death from a New York City skyscraper, according to police. Gustavo Arnal joined the company in 2020. His death comes just days after a lawsuit alleges his involvement in a so-called, quote, pump and dump scheme. Police found the 52-year-old dead near a building known as the Jenga Tower after they received a 911 call Friday afternoon. Arnal's injuries appear to be from a fall. No additional information has been released. The city...
So the pump and dump scheme I find really interesting because it's not like there was a lot of money involved for him anyways, because from my understanding here, I think it's mentioned in here somewhere. Yeah, so the sales that when he sold basically amounted to about 1.4 million through Arnal, still had about 255,000 shares remaining in the company according to the outlet. So 1.4 million is actually less than from my understanding, than has actual salary as CFO at this company. So I don't think this is going to be directly tied to some kind of lawsuit that's pressuring on him, but we'll just continue.
The city's medical examiner's office is investigating. Bed Bath & Beyond confirmed Arnal's death on Sunday, offering condolences and requesting privacy for his family. Arnal sold over 55,000 shares in the company last month, according to Reuters calculations based on SEC filings. The sales amounted to about $1.4 million. Arnal still had about 255,000 shares remaining. On August 23rd, the company, Arnal, and major shareholder Ryan Cohen were sued over allegations of artificially inflating the firm's stock price in a pump and dump scheme. The lawsuit alleges Arnal made misleading statements to investors and sold off his shares at a higher price after the scheme. The class action lawsuit was brought by a group of shareholders who claimed they lost around $1.2 billion.
Yeah, see, this is what usually happens with the volatility in stocks, right? When you get Wall Street bets pumping things up, you usually get shareholders that have probably exuberated amounts of wealth. They see some of this manipulation going on in reports and SEC filings as they try and like pump the business up, and the CFOs or CEOs get really pumped up in their earnings call, and then we watch things tank miserably. You know, usually this is just a bit of a stretch because people were gambling and businesses. I don't know the exact details. I'd have to dig around and see what the exact filing is against some of the things that were said. But still, usually this is just people, you know, stretching in any way they can. But we saw this in the crypto pump and dump with many of those, you know, celebrity singers. They're making their own cryptos or pumping coins and stuff like that. I mean, very similar stuff.
The company did not respond to requests for comment on the lawsuit. The big box chain has recently seen its fortunes falter. Last week, Bed Bath & Beyond said it would close 150 stores, cut jobs, and overhaul its merchandising strategy in an attempt to turn around its money-losing business.
Anyways here, folks, I'm going to pass this question off to you. Like I said, it's very rare that we see publicly traded companies that are in this kind of scope when we're talking about Wall Street's bets. Obviously, a lot of this pump and dump scandals going on, and then to have this kind of mixed in at the moment of it, I don't know if it was just pressuring and he had some kind of, but again, he's a father, right? Maybe sometimes you speculate, maybe somebody I don't want to say pushed him, but you never know, right? I mean, this is some very convoluted stuff because the money that was involved for him was very incremental to not only his salary, but perhaps maybe that billions of dollars that somebody else lost. I'm very curious to how deep this truly goes. So I want to pass the question off to you. I'd love to know what you think about all of us in that comment section below, but stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.